Some people smile at your face while planning your destruction behind your back. These individuals don't carry signs announcing their evil intentions. They don't wear dark clothes or speak in sinister voices like movie villains. Instead, they blend into normal society while secretly harboring dangerous thoughts and behaviors that can destroy everything good in your path. The scariest part is that these people often appear to be the most charming, helpful, and trustworthy individuals in your circle. They master the art of deception so well that by the time you realize what they truly are, significant damage has already been done to your relationships, career, mental health, or even physical safety. Today, we're going to expose 5 clear signs that someone in your life might be pure evil. These signs are based on real psychology and behavioral patterns that experts have studied for years. Each sign we'll discuss has been carefully chosen because it's something you can actually spot in your daily interactions. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to protect yourself and your loved ones from these dangerous individuals. This information could literally save your relationships, your peace of mind, and possibly even your safety. Make sure you watch every single part of this video because each sign builds on the previous one. To save time, feel free to watch at 1.5 or 2 times speed. But please don't skip any sections because you might miss crucial details that could help you identify these people. Now let's talk about something that might sound crazy at first. Have you ever met someone who was just too perfect? Someone who said all the right things, gave you all the right compliments, and made you feel like you were the most special person in the world? Well, hold on to your seat, because this might not be as wonderful as it seems. Think about it like this. When someone at a car dealership is being overly nice to you, what are they trying to do? They want to sell you something, right? Well, some people use charm the exact same way, except what they're trying to sell you is a fake version of themselves, and what they want to buy is your trust, your resources, and your peace of mind. The first sign of pure evil that we need to expose is what I call the charm manipulation weapon. This is when someone uses excessive charm, not because they genuinely care about you, but because they want to control you. Now let me be clear. There's a huge difference between someone who is naturally charming and someone who is using charm as a weapon against you. A person with natural charm makes you feel good, but they also respect your boundaries. They don't push too hard or too fast. They understand that real relationships take time to build. But someone using charm manipulation? Oh, they operate completely differently. They study you like you're a science project. They watch how you react to different things. They pay attention to what makes you smile, what makes you sad, what makes you feel insecure. Here's where it gets really scary. These people are like emotional detectives, but instead of solving crimes, they're looking for your weaknesses. They listen when you talk about your past relationships. They notice when you mention feeling lonely or insecure about something. They remember when you say you've always wanted someone to treat you a certain way. And then, like magic, they become exactly what you've been looking for. But here's the thing that should make your alarm bells ring. They seem too good to be true because they literally are. No real person is perfect. No genuine person has 0 flaws. No authentic person can read your mind and give you exactly what you want all the time. When someone appears to be your perfect match in every single way, that's not fate or luck. That's calculation. These charm manipulators have a playbook, and they follow it perfectly. They shower you with compliments, but not just any compliments. They give you specific praise about things you're insecure about. If you've mentioned that you don't think you're smart, suddenly they're telling you how brilliant you are. If you've said you feel invisible, suddenly they're making you feel like the center of their universe. They also love to rush things. While a normal person might take weeks or months to really open up to you, these people are sharing deep secrets and making big promises within days. They push for intimacy way too fast. They want to know everything about you, but when you ask about them, their stories don't quite add up, or they change the subject. Another major red flag is overwhelming generosity. They give you expensive gifts early in the relationship. They offer to help you with things before you even ask. They volunteer to solve problems you didn't know you had. This isn't kindness. This is investment. They're putting you in emotional debt so that later, when they ask for something, you'll feel like you owe them. The most dangerous part about charm manipulation is that it works. It feels amazing to be on the receiving end of this much attention and affection. Your brain gets flooded with all these good feelings, and you start to think this person is incredible. But remember, if someone seems too perfect, if the relationship is moving too fast, if you're getting more attention than you've ever received before, stop and ask yourself why. The truth is, genuine people don't need to overwhelm you with charm to get you to like them. They don't need to study your weaknesses to connect with you. They don't need to rush the process because they're confident that real connection takes time. When someone is using charm as a weapon, they're not trying to build something real with you. They're trying to build something that serves them. And once they get what they want, that charm will disappear faster than you can blink. Now, let me tell you about something that happened to someone I know that will probably make your heart sink. This person had a close friend who always seemed to care so deeply about everyone's problems. Whenever someone was going through a tough time, this friend would be right there with tissues, kind words, and what seemed like genuine concern. One day, this person's father passed away unexpectedly. It was devastating. The grief was overwhelming. And their seemingly caring friend, well, they showed up to the funeral, said all the right things, and even helped with some of the arrangements. On the surface, it looked like the perfect example of friendship and compassion. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. Just 3 days after the funeral, while this person was still deep in grief, barely able to function, their friend started complaining about their own minor work problems. Not only that, but they actually got annoyed when the grieving person couldn't focus on their drama. They said things like, "I know you're sad, but I need support too," and "You can't just ignore everyone else's problems because of what happened to you." This brings us to the second sign of pure evil, the complete lack of genuine empathy. Now, this might be the most chilling sign of all, because these people are masters at faking emotions they don't actually feel. Real empathy is when you can actually feel someone else's pain. When your friend is hurting, you hurt too. When someone you care about is celebrating, you feel genuinely happy for them. Real empathy makes you want to help others not because it benefits you, but because seeing them in pain actually causes you discomfort. But evil people, they don't have this emotional wiring. They can't actually feel what others feel. Instead, they've learned to mimic empathy like actors playing a role. They've watched how caring people behave, and they've practiced copying those behaviors. They know that when someone is crying, they should hand them tissues. They know that when someone shares good news, they should smile and congratulate them.
But inside, there's nothing.
No genuine emotion. No real concern. Here's how you can spot the difference. When someone with real empathy sees you in pain, they feel uncomfortable too. They want to help because your pain is affecting them. But when someone is faking empathy, they'll help only if it makes them look good, or if they think they can get something out of it. Watch what happens when these people think no one is looking. A truly empathetic person will still show kindness and concern, even when there's no audience. But someone faking empathy, the moment they think their performance isn't being observed, the caring mask comes right off. Another way to identify fake empathy is to notice how they respond to different types of problems. Someone with real empathy will show consistent concern whether you're going through a major crisis or just having a bad day. But fake empathetic people are strategic. They'll show up for the big dramatic moments because those get them the most attention and praise. But for your everyday struggles, they're nowhere to be found. These people also have a disturbing tendency to make everything about themselves. Even when you're going through something terrible, they'll somehow twist the conversation back to their own experiences. They'll say things like, "That reminds me of when I went through something similar," and then spend the next 20 minutes talking about themselves. Perhaps the most disturbing thing about people who lack genuine empathy is how they view other human beings. To them, people aren't individuals with feelings, dreams, and fears. People are objects to be used. They see relationships as transactions. They're kind to you when they need something from you, and they disappear when you need something from them. The scary part is that these people often choose careers or positions where they're supposed to help others. They become counselors, teachers, religious leaders, or volunteers, not because they care about helping people, but because these roles give them access to vulnerable individuals and make them look good to society. If you're finding this information valuable and want to support the work we're doing here to help people protect themselves from dangerous individuals, consider leaving a small donation by clicking the thanks button below this video. Every bit of support helps us continue creating content that could literally save someone from years of manipulation and abuse. Right now, I want you to think about the most incredible person you've ever met. Someone whose life story was so amazing, whose achievements were so impressive, whose experiences were so fascinating that you found yourself hanging on their every word. Got that person in mind?
Good.
Now let me ask you something that might completely change how you see them. Did their stories ever change slightly each time they told them? Did they ever claim to have done things that seemed just a little too extraordinary? Did you ever notice small inconsistencies in their timeline or details that didn't quite add up? If you're nodding your head right now, you might have encountered someone with our third sign of pure evil. This sign is absolutely devastating because it attacks the very foundation of all human relationships: trust. What I'm talking about is pathological lying and deception. And it's not just about telling a few white lies here and there. We all do that sometimes. This is about people who lie so naturally, so frequently, and so convincingly that lying becomes their default way of communicating with the world. Here's what makes this particularly dangerous. Most people lie when they have to, when they've done something wrong, when they want to avoid getting in trouble, or when they want to protect someone's feelings. But evil people lie even when the truth would actually serve them better. They lie about small things that don't matter. They lie about big things that could easily be verified. They lie so much that I truly believe they sometimes forget what the truth actually is. These master manipulators create elaborate false stories about their past. They'll tell you about prestigious schools they never attended, important jobs they never had, famous people they never met, and incredible achievements that never happened. They don't just exaggerate the truth. They completely invent entire chapters of their lives. But here's where it gets really sophisticated. They don't just make up random stories. They craft their lies specifically to impress you and gain your trust. If you're someone who values education, suddenly they have multiple degrees from top universities. If you're interested in adventure, suddenly they've traveled to exotic places and had amazing experiences. If you're looking for someone successful, suddenly they've built companies and made fortunes. What's truly terrifying is how good they are at this deception. They don't show the typical signs of lying that most people display. They don't fidget, avoid eye contact, or stumble over their words. Instead, they tell their lies with complete confidence and conviction. They add specific details that make their stories seem authentic. They'll remember to bring up their fake experiences in natural conversations, making them seem like genuine memories. These people also use lies strategically to manipulate situations to their advantage. They'll lie to create conflict between other people. They'll lie to make themselves look like victims when they're actually the aggressors. They'll lie to get out of commitments they don't want to keep. They'll lie to gain access to resources, opportunities, or relationships they haven't earned. One of the most dangerous aspects of their lying is how they use deception to isolate their victims from support systems. They'll tell you lies about what other people have said about you. They'll create false emergencies that require you to cancel plans with friends or family. They'll spread lies about you to others, damaging your relationships and making you more dependent on them. Perhaps the most disturbing thing about pathological liars is that they often start to believe their own lies. They tell their false stories so many times that these fabrications become real to them. This makes them even more convincing because they're not consciously lying anymore. They've convinced themselves that their false reality is true. Warning signs include stories that seem too good to be true, achievements that don't match their current circumstances, inconsistencies in their timeline, grandiose claims about their past, and unexplained gaps in their history. They might claim to have done amazing things but have no evidence to show for it. They might talk about important people they know, but never introduce you to any of them. The reason this sign is so devastating is that once you realize someone has been lying to you about major aspects of their life, you start questioning everything. Every conversation you've had, every story they've told, every emotion they've expressed becomes suspect. You begin to understand that you don't actually know this person at all. The relationship you thought you had was built on a foundation of lies, and that realization can be absolutely crushing. If you've been finding these insights valuable and they're helping you understand patterns you've noticed in your own life, consider supporting our mission to help people identify and protect themselves from dangerous individuals by clicking the thanks button below. Let's continue. What I'm about to share with you is perhaps the most disturbing and heartbreaking lesson you'll learn today, and I need you to understand just how crucial it is that you never forget what I'm about to tell you. This isn't just information, this is a shield that could protect you from years of emotional destruction. There's a word that perfectly describes what we're dealing with here, and it's called schadenfreude. It means taking pleasure in other people's misfortune. But when we're talking about genuinely evil people, this goes far beyond just feeling a little satisfied when someone who's been mean to you gets their comeuppance. We're talking about people who actively seek to cause others pain because watching people suffer brings them genuine joy. These individuals don't just stumble upon your misfortune and secretly smile about it. They orchestrate it. They carefully plan ways to cause you emotional, financial, or social harm, and then they sit back and enjoy the show. Think about how twisted that is. While normal people feel bad when they accidentally hurt someone, these people feel good when they intentionally destroy someone's happiness. Let me paint you a picture of how this actually looks in real life. These people will watch you work hard toward a goal, something you're excited about, something that matters to you. Maybe it's a promotion at work, a new relationship, or a personal achievement you've been striving for. Instead of supporting you or celebrating with you, they're quietly figuring out how to sabotage your success. They might spread rumors about you at work right before your promotion review. They might tell lies to the person you're dating to create doubt and conflict. They might accidentally reveal embarrassing information about you at the worst possible moment. And when your plans fall apart, when you're confused and hurt and wondering what went wrong, they're right there offering comfort and support, all while hiding their satisfaction at your pain. These people are particularly drawn to targeting others during vulnerable moments. When you're going through a divorce, dealing with a health scare, struggling financially, or grieving a loss, normal people want to help and support you. But evil people see your vulnerability as an opportunity. They know you're already in pain, so it's easier to cause you more pain. They know you're already feeling weak, so it's easier to manipulate and control you. What makes this behavior especially cruel is how subtle and strategic it often is. They don't usually cause obvious dramatic harm that would expose them as the source of your problems. Instead, they undermine you in small, seemingly innocent ways that add up over time. They might consistently forget to pass along important messages. They might give you bad advice disguised as helpful suggestions. They might create small misunderstandings that slowly poison your relationships with others. These individuals also create drama and chaos in situations that were previously peaceful. They thrive in environments of conflict and confusion because that's when they feel most powerful and in control. If your family gathering is going well, they'll find a way to start an argument. If your workplace is harmonious, they'll create tension between colleagues. If your friend group is happy and stable, they'll plant seeds of doubt and jealousy. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of this behavior is how they discard people once they've extracted what they wanted. They don't form genuine attachments to others. People are like toys to them, interesting and useful for a while, but ultimately disposable. Once they've gotten whatever benefit they were seeking from you, whether that was money, status, entertainment, or just the satisfaction of controlling you, they'll move on to their next victim without a second thought. The targeting pattern is particularly cruel. They often go after people who are naturally happy, successful, or have something good in their lives. It's as if your happiness or success offends them on a personal level. They can't stand to see others thriving when they feel empty inside, so they make it their mission to bring you down to their level. This lesson should terrify you into paying attention to the people around you. If someone consistently seems to benefit from your misfortunes, if drama follows them wherever they go, if they always seem to be in the middle of other people's problems, if they show little emotion when bad things happen to others, or if they seem unusually interested in your vulnerabilities and struggles, you need to protect yourself immediately. These are not coincidences. These are patterns of evil behavior that will only get worse over time. At this point, I want you to take a moment and think about the last time you made a mistake that hurt someone you cared about. Really think about it. How did you feel? Probably pretty terrible, right? You likely felt guilty, maybe even sick to your stomach. You probably apologized, tried to make things right, and promised yourself you'd do better next time. That feeling of remorse and responsibility, that's what makes you human. Now I want you to imagine what it would be like to go through life never feeling that way. Imagine making mistakes, hurting people, even destroying their lives, and never once feeling genuinely sorry about it. Imagine always finding a way to make everything someone else's fault. This brings us to our fifth and final sign of pure evil, the complete lack of accountability. These people have mastered the art of blame shifting to such a degree that they could probably teach university courses on it. No matter what they do, no matter how much evidence points to them being responsible, they will find a way to make it someone else's fault. They don't just avoid taking responsibility. They actively rewrite history to make themselves look innocent. Think about someone in your life who never seems to learn from their mistakes. Someone who keeps making the same harmful choices over and over again, but always has an excuse for why it happened. Someone who, when confronted with clear evidence of their wrongdoing, somehow manages to turn the situation around and make you feel like the bad guy. These master manipulators have perfected what experts call gaslighting. This is when they make you question your own memory, your own perception, your own sanity. They'll do something that clearly hurts you, and when you confront them about it, they'll tell you it never happened. Or they'll say it happened, but not the way you remember it. Or they'll say it happened exactly as you remember, but you're overreacting and being too sensitive. Have you ever had someone explode in anger when you tried to hold them accountable for something they did? Have you ever seen someone start crying and playing the victim the moment you brought up their harmful behavior? Have you ever watched someone threaten to leave, hurt themselves, or destroy something when they were confronted with evidence of their wrongdoing? These aren't normal emotional responses. These are calculated tactics designed to shut down any attempt at accountability. The most frustrating part about dealing with these people is that they're incredibly skilled at making you feel like you're the problem. They'll say things like, "You're always trying to start fights," or "You never let anything go," or "You're just looking for reasons to be upset with me." They'll make you feel guilty for even bringing up their behavior. They'll convince you that wanting them to take responsibility for their actions makes you the unreasonable one. These individuals also excel at playing the victim in every situation. Even when they're clearly the ones who caused harm, they'll find a way to position themselves as the person who's really suffering. They'll talk about how hard their childhood was, how much stress they're under, how everyone's always picking on them, or how misunderstood they are. They'll use their supposed victimhood as a shield to protect them from any consequences for their actions. What makes this particularly dangerous is that they never actually change their behavior. Because they never truly accept responsibility for their actions, they never feel motivated to do better. They might promise to change when they're backed into a corner, but these promises are empty. How can someone fix a problem they don't believe they have? The pattern repeats endlessly. They hurt you, you confront them, they blame you or someone else. They make you feel bad for bringing it up. They promise it won't happen again if you just give them another chance, and then they do the exact same thing all over again. Each time you hope things will be different. Each time you want to believe their promises. But things never change because they never change. Perhaps the most telling sign is their complete inability to show genuine remorse. They might say they're sorry, but watch their body language and listen to their tone. Are they actually sorry for what they did? Or are they just sorry they got caught? Are they taking full responsibility, or are they including excuses and justifications in their apology? Do they seem committed to making sure it doesn't happen again, or are they just trying to end the conversation? This lack of accountability doesn't just damage individual relationships. It creates a pattern of destruction that follows these people wherever they go. They leave behind a trail of broken relationships, damaged trust, and confused victims who can't understand why nothing ever changes. If you're in a relationship with someone who has never once taken full responsibility for hurting you, who always has an excuse, who makes you feel crazy for expecting basic accountability, you need to understand that this will never change. Now that you've learned these 5 signs, you have a choice to make. And this choice will determine whether you spend the rest of your life as someone who gets used and manipulated by dangerous people, or as someone who protects themselves and lives with confidence and peace of mind. These signs work together like pieces of a puzzle. Charm manipulation draws you in. Lack of empathy keeps them emotionally detached while they hurt you. Pathological lying creates confusion and dependency. Pleasure in your pain motivates them to keep hurting you, and lack of accountability ensures they never stop. When you see multiple signs in the same person, you're not dealing with someone having a bad day. You're dealing with someone who could destroy your life. Your gut instincts are trying to protect you right now. If someone feels off, if something seems too good to be true, if you feel confused or drained after spending time with certain people, listen to those feelings. They're not being paranoid, they're being smart. Create strong boundaries and actually enforce them. Document your interactions with suspicious people. Build a support system of trustworthy friends and family who can give you perspective. When you identify someone with these signs, distance yourself safely and completely. Don't try to fix them, change them, or give them more chances. Just protect yourself. Remember, recognizing these signs early can save you from years of manipulation, emotional abuse, and psychological damage. Share this knowledge with people you care about, because someone you love might be dealing with one of these dangerous individuals right now. Here's the truth that will change everything for you. You now have the power to identify and avoid people who could ruin your life. You're no longer walking blind into these situations. If you go back to ignoring red flags, making excuses for people's harmful behavior, or giving dangerous people access to your life after watching this video, you're choosing to be a victim. You have the knowledge now. Use it, or stay trapped in cycles of manipulation and abuse. The algorithm knows exactly what you need to learn next to continue protecting yourself and building the life you deserve. Click on that suggested video appearing on your screen right now, because your safety and peace of mind depend on continuing this education. Don't let this be where your learning stops when your future happiness is on the line.